What's up, y'all? Today we're going to be making baked macaroni and cheese. And I'm talking about real baked macaroni and cheese, not that stuff with the breadcrumbs on top. So first we're going to boil our noodles. Usually people boil their noodles in water, but we're going to boil ours in chicken stock because that gives it some extra flavor. I didn't want to waste my actual chicken stock on noodles though, so I just added some chicken bouillon seasoning to my water. Then after that, place your pot on high heat so your stock can come to a boil. Alright, I know it looks a little smoky, but I promise my house is not on fire. The camera just a little fogged up from the steam. But once the stock is boiling, we're going to add in our noodles. And we're making macaroni, so I'm using macaroni noodles. Once you add the noodles, just get them a little stir to make sure they don't stick. And you're going to let them boil for about 8 minutes until they're al dente, which means soft, but not too soft because you're still going to cook them in the oven. So you don't want them to turn into gummies. So once your noodles are done, you're just going to drain them. Next, we're going to put our noodles in a big bowl while they're still hot and add in a sliced stick of butter so it can melt. Now we're going to get started on our cheese sauce. We're going to add 1 can of evaporated milk to our pot. When you're in the grocery store, make sure you get evaporated milk and not sweetened and condensed milk because they both come in the can and in the same area. You don't want your macaroni to be sweet. Then after we add the evaporated milk, we're going to add in 2.5 cups of heavy cream. I added 2 cups on camera and another half off camera. Next, we're going to stir the milk and the heavy cream and set the pot on medium-low heat. That'll be hot enough for the cheese to melt, but not too hot that it'll start boiling. Alright, so next we're going to add some salt, pepper, and paprika to our milk. I don't use measurements, so I'll just say to lightly sprinkle each seasoning and taste it once you add your cheese to make sure it has your desired taste. I see some people skip this step when making macaroni because I tasted some bland macaroni before. And not only should your macaroni be cheesy, but it should have some flavor too. Next, we're going to add in our cheese. I have 4 8-ounce bags of cheese, but we're going to use 2 bags of cheddar and 1 bag of Colby Jack cheese for our sauce and save the other bag of Colby Jack to put in the mac once it's in the pan. You're going to let the cheese melt and stir it until it has a smooth texture like this. Now that the cheese is melted, turn the sauce down to low heat. Next, we're going to crack 2 large eggs in a bowl and beat them.
Look at the flick of that wrist. Look at the flick of that wrist. Look at the flick of that wrist. Look at the flick of that wrist.
This is the time to taste your cheese sauce and make sure it has enough flavor because once you add in the eggs, you can't taste it anymore. Unless you want salmonella, then go ahead, taste it and get sick. Next, turn the heat off your cheese sauce and add in the eggs. It shouldn't be that hot anyways, but don't add in your eggs if the cheese sauce is hot because you don't want your eggs to cook in the sauce. That's why you're putting it in the oven. I like to cook my macaroni in an aluminum pan, so we're going to get our pan and add in half of our noodles. Okay, next we're going to pour in half of our cheese sauce and mix it together with the noodles. Next, we're going to sprinkle some Colby Jack cheese over our first layer of macaroni. Next, we're going to add in the remainder of our noodles and spread them out across the pan. Once you add in all your noodles, you're going to pour in the rest of your cheese sauce and spread it out so it's cheese all up and through it. Then you're going to scrape the pot because you don't want no cheese to go to waste. Next, you're going to cover the macaroni in Colby Jack cheese. You want to make sure you get some in the corner, center, front, right, back, side, everywhere. Okay, it's almost time for the macaroni to go in the oven. But first, we're going to sprinkle it with a little paprika so it can look good, because it already tastes good. Next, we're going to set our oven at 375 and let our macaroni bake for about 40 minutes on 375, and then let it broil for a few minutes so it can get nice and golden brown. But don't let it broil for too long because you don't want it to be burnt. And then this is how your macaroni should come out. The edges should be nice and golden brown like Gabrielle Union. Alright, so I'm just going to cut into it so y'all can see how good it looks. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and suggest new things for me to cook. Look how creamy it is. Look at all that cheese. Look how cheesy it is. You make this, people gonna want you to cook it for Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthdays, funerals.